characters, incidents, names, and situations used in this story are fictitious. The resemblance to any person living or dead is purely coincidental. The following video contains some horror elements and suitable for a mature audience, 16 plus. This channel and video is not for kids. Hello friends, I am Arian, and welcome to our channel, Midnight Horror Stories, where you get to hear true and scary ghost stories. But before starting the story, all the friends who have come to this channel for the first time, please subscribe to the channel, and if you like the story, then definitely introduce yourself in the comment section. Then let's do not take much time and start our story quickly. Today I am going to share with you the incident of the terrible trip of 4 friends to Meghalaya. Often you know that the 7 sisters, known as the 7 Sisters, is the first choice for everyone to visit the state of the northeast of India. So there were 4 friends, 2 boys and girls. They also go there for a walk. But one night, some miscreants beat him up and stole, etc., due to which he was isolated. And after that, you also heard what happened to them in that terrible and dreadful forest. There will be goosebumps. And this incident has been shared with me by these 4 friends, and you may not even believe how such things can happen in today's time. But listening to them, I had to believe them too. Let me now tell the story of those 4 friends. Dense darkness and deep forest all around. That new moon night was taking a toll on those 4 friends. Vinay had fallen into a deep pit in the forest. Dark him, I couldn't see anything else. He was screaming, but Ram was lying unconscious at a distance. It is about 7 to 8 kilometers from Vinay and Ram. Far away, Seema and Nisha were holding each other's hands and trying to find a way. They were both frightened. Seema nervously says to Nisha, "Nisha, where have we come?" "I don't understand." Nisha says, "I don't even know where Vinay and Ram lived. What would have happened to them?" Seema says that something bad must have happened to them, otherwise they would have found us by now. I don't even have a mobile phone. First that thief and crook, and then that strange shadow. I don't know where this forest ends. Nisha says we have to work with courage. We can't wait for Ram and Vinay. We have to reach the main road by any means. Nisha and Seema were walking on an unknown path in the dark. Both of them were unaware that the forest was about to end when a temple-like building appeared in that dark place. A faint light was coming from that temple, which caught the attention of Nisha and Seema. Nisha immediately said, "Look at Seema there." "There is some." Seema says, "Yes, I was also seeing something. Maybe it's someone's house. Let's go and see." As they both moved closer to that temple, the giant building comes in front of them. There were stone pillars all over the place, on top of which was a statue of an eagle. When they both get closer to that building, they get a little confused as to what is it built upon, because it looked like neither an Indian temple, nor a mosque, nor a church. It didn't even look like a home. It looked like a ruin made of stone carvings, both a veranda and that porch and small verandas with no roof over them. There is also no dome to look like it is a temple or a mosque. But in the small stone building, there is a mysterious sign upstairs on the wall right in front. The line of an arrow is crooked like a snake, and looking at it, it looks like it is moving like a snake moving. That sign was also embossed on the stone. Nisha says, "What is this? Don't feel home? Is there a temple somewhere?" Seema says, "Even the temple does not look like a structure. Let's go inside and see. Maybe there's someone who they can help us." As Nisha and Seema step inside the stone building, a cool breeze blows through their bodies. Nisha and Seema see that there is a huge hole. There are small mounds of stone in that hole, as if it were a place to sit. 3 candles are burning right in front of them. The back of the candle is covered with a black sheet. It looks like a statue has been covered. There is also a trident equal to the idol, which is slightly different from the trident of Hindu culture. There are 2 lanes on either side of the hole. The walls of that hole were made of stone, and the figures of different animals were engraved on it. It looked like a temple or a church, as if it had been a very historic temple. Nisha rubs her hand on the wall and says, "Seema, this is such a strange place. Isn't it a strange picture? Half human and half animal." Seema says, "Yes, don't know what kind of place it is." Nisha says, looking at the things in the hole, "It seems as if it must have been a church. Seeing this, these mounds are made like chairs here. It's like people sit here and watch it. Candles. That means someone still comes and goes. That's why these candles are burning." Nisha speaks in a slightly louder voice. Is there anybody here? Seema also says behind her. Is there anyone? Someone can hear our voice. There was also a room inside the corridor next to the hole. There was a woman sitting in that room. There were a lot of jasmine flowers lying around him, and his hands were stained with blood. On hearing the voice of Nisha and Seema, the woman immediately becomes alert and cleans her hands. Nisha and Seema call again. Hello, is anybody? By slow degrees. Nisha was walking towards the black cloth that was covered over something that they thought was an idol. Nisha was about to remove the black cloth when immediately the woman comes out and says, "Wait." There was anger in his voice. Nisha trembles after hearing the woman's voice and immediately looks back. The woman says, "Who are you guys? What are you doing here?" Nisha says, "My name is Nisha, and this is my friend Seema. Actually, we need your help." The woman wrinkles her head and says, "What help?" So Nisha says, "Actually, we are in our friend group. They had come to visit these beautiful plains of Meghalaya with them. We had heard that there are a lot of camping points here. We were on our way to Daki. Our timing to leave the hotel was a bit wrong, and we got stuck in this forest at night. Then some miscreants robbed us. 2 of our other friends were also with us. They also snatched our money and mobile phones. Both of our comrades tried to scuffle with those miscreants. But we got around and got lost in this forest. Somehow we came here by saving our lives. Now we have to looking for friends, Vinay and Ram. It would be very kind of you if you could help us. We don't know where this forest begins and ends, and we not only faced the miscreants, but also showed us some paranormal entities. I don't know if it was really a paranormal entity or something else, but we saw the black shadow that was behind us. At the moment running away from it, we came here. Please help us in some way." The woman stands silently and starts thinking. Then Seema folds her hands and says, "Please, Auntie, please don't refuse. We are like your children." The woman shakes her head and says, "Don't panic. I do something, but right now I can't do it alone. You have to go to my village. I'll be able to help from there." Nisha and Seema nod yes, and they both follow the woman. The woman's name was Kim. It had been about 20 minutes since we had walked. Nisha asked, "Auntie, how far is your village?" "It's just around the corner," Kim said. "Well, you can call me Kim. My name is Kim." Nisha on hearing this, and Seema looks at each other's faces because the old lady was a well-aged woman, and calling her name in this way is not good for old people in Indian culture. Yet Kim asked to take her name. At the moment, Nisha and Seema do not say anything. They follow Kim silently. As soon as they enter the village, almost all the houses in the village are the same, and a candle is burning on one corner of the roof of all the houses. Nisha and Seema had seen such a scene for the first time in their lives. There was a small cistern in front of all the houses. Paws are a kind of water pools in which a little water is collected and kept. Seema and Nisha had a lot of questions in their minds, but they avoided saying anything in front of Kim because everything was very strange for them. She didn't want anything wrong to come out of her mouth and then have trouble getting help. In the middle of the Kucha Road in one of the houses on either side, the old woman Kim enters. From the inside, the house was completely normal, like the houses of the village. A large courtyard, a veranda, 2 rooms in front, one side the washroom and the stairs to the terrace next to it, and a wall are completely empty. On the blank wall, Nisha and Seema see the same sign that they saw outside that strange temple in the forest. A serpent-shaped arrow says to Kim, Nisha, and Seema, "Sit here on the veranda. I'll call my son and get him." Nisha and Seema sit there quietly. A few minutes later, Kim calls her son Donya. He says to Nisha and Seema, "Well then, you both are those whose companions have been lost." Nisha and Seema nodded in the affirmative. Donya asks, "Do you remember what kind of road it was like, where you found those crooks or some forest area? Do you remember anything?" Seema says, "We don't remember much, but yes, the part of the forest from where we were separated had thick trunk trees and dry leaves lying around." Danza thinks for a while. Then he says, "Well, I will go to the forest once and see. Both of you stay here. For you, going back into the forest is not without danger." Saying this, Donya makes a gesture to his mother, Kim. His mother also nods in the affirmative. Seema and Nisha do not understand what the two talked about each other, but Danza walks out of the house at the same time. As Donja goes out, Kim sits down to make tea on the stove for Nisha and Seema. Nisha and Seema were now a little relieved that at least they had reached the human realm. They will definitely get help from here, but they were unaware of the danger that was coming. After 10 minutes, the tea was ready. Kim gave tea to Nisha and Seema and went to the room. He had locked the door of the room from inside. A few seconds later, from inside the room, the sound of a song came. Seema said lightly, "What is she singing?" Nisha said, "There will be some puja or part of their worship. I don't remember it coming out of that strange temple. She may have gone there to pray." Seema says, "I don't understand." It had been about half an hour since Nisha and Seema had gone to Kim's house in that strange place. They were talking to each other when someone knocked on the door. Seema looked at Nisha in surprise and said, "It's quite late at night. Do these people stay awake at night? Tell them at this time. Who would have come home?" Then Nisha says, "Oh, is their boy Donya somewhere?" Seema says, "How will he come back so soon? They wouldn't have even reached the forest yet." Nisha says, "Let's go and open the door." As soon as Nisha and Seema open the door of the house, they are shocked because it was actually Donja outside, and his friends Vinay and Ram were also with him. Ram was in an unconscious state, and blood was also coming out from many places of the body. Nisha and Seema are also surprised with happiness that their friends have returned. "But how did you get back so soon?" I don't understand Nisha and Seema, whether he reacts happily or surprised. Donya was carrying Ram on his shoulder. As soon as the door opens, Donya goes straight to the porch and calls out to his mother. Kim also comes out immediately. Seeing Ram's condition, lines of concern also start coming on his forehead. She says, "Oh my God, it's getting so bad." Donya also says, "Yes, Mom, we have to take it to Shino quickly. If he did not regain consciousness for a while, he might lose his life." On hearing this, Vinay, Nisha, and Seema panicked. Vinay says, "Oh no, what are you saying? How could something like this happen to our friend?" Donya says, "Look at its condition, bleeding from every part of the body. I think it has been over-assaulted or attacked by a wild animal. It will only be known when its body stops bleeding. See for yourself for the moment. Mild blood is leaking right. After a while, death is certain." Kim begins to clean the blood from Ram's body, as much as she could. Seema was Ram's girlfriend. She cries and folds her hands. She says, "Please do something. You give us the address of any hospital or any clinic. We'll take our friend there." Donya says there are no hospitals far and wide. Actually, we believe in Ayurveda medicine. They survive only on herbs. So we don't trust any doctor, and that's why there is no hospital in the village. If you have to go to a hospital, then it is about 50 to 60 kilometers from here. Gotta go away. Vinay wonders if you have a car 50 to 60 kilometers away. Donya says, "No, you will not even get a bicycle here. We believe in walking." Donya's words were very strange. How do the people of today's era live in such backwardness? Nowadays, every facility is going to the village too. Then Seema says, "1 minute, what were you saying at that time that let's take it to Shino?" "Shino. Is there a doctor? Can he heal our Ram?" Donya says, "Yes, you can call him a physician and a messiah sent by God." Request. He says, "What do you mean?" Donya says, "Shino is the chief of this village and the priest of our temple. Shino takes all the good and bad decisions of the village. He is not only a leader, but also a person who removes the sufferings of the people. In our village, if anyone has any disease, sorrow, or problem, then everyone goes to Shino. Your friend's condition is very serious. Believe me, take him to Shino because you don't have enough time to take him to the city and get him treated. It's probably in the way we'll break it." Seema says, "Okay, you take it to Shano." Those friends had no other choice but to go to Shano. That's why everyone goes to Shano. Shino's house was almost the same as any other house in the village. There was a water tank in front of the house, but the only thing was different that the house was a little away from all the houses, and that house had more than 2 rooms. Perhaps for the recognition that it is the home of the village chieftain. When Donya brought Ram and his friends to Shano, Shano was bathing in the water pool. He was holding both his hands together above his head. Half the torso in the water, it was submerged. It was very gentle and quiet to look at. He was a young man. His age will be around 30 to 33. When Vinay and his friends see Shino, they wonder if this is Shino. From Donya's words, it seemed that it must be an old man. Donya and his friends wait for Shino to complete the bath. As Shino comes out of the watercourse, Donya says, "Shino-ji, we need your help." Seeing Ram lying unconscious and bloodied, Shino understands that these people have come to treat him. Shino says, "Okay, Donya, you can do it. Bring it home and the rest of you sit on the platform waiting for us," Shino says, pointing to a platform under a tree. Vinay says, "No, we can't leave our friend alone. One of us will have to go with you." Shino stares at Vinay. Donya says, "Shino-ji, no problem, it's his partner." Then Vinay also goes inside with Donya and Shino. But in the room where Shino treats Ram, even Vinay and Donya couldn't go into that room. Vinay objects to this too. He says, "Donya, me, I have to go in with my friend." Donya says, "You can't do that. Shino-ji does the treatment alone. He wouldn't let anyone into that room. You don't worry, he'll fix your friend. See, when you see your friend, you will thank Shino. Trust them." Now, Vinay and his friends were educated people. Therefore, he did not believe much in this kind of Ayurveda medicine. Vinay feared that his friend might lose his life because of the rule. The compulsion was just coming in front of him. Otherwise, how long will it be? He took his friend to the hospital. Shino, on the other hand, takes Ram to a dark room. As soon as Shino claps her hands 3 times, the candles in the room burn automatically. There is light everywhere. In that room, there were a lot of herbs in large glass bottles, as well as a statue, on which a black cloth was covered. There were colorful flowers in front of that idol. Most of them were jasmine flowers, and their strong fragrance was spreading throughout the room. Along one in front of the statue, there was also a seat which was made of stone. Shino makes Ram lie down on that pedestal. Shino then collects Ram's flowing blood in a bowl. Then the curtain is removed from the idol. The statue was like a statue of a monster. I didn't know if he was a god or a devil. The statue with a strange face had a long and pointed nose. The ears were also erect like those of monkeys. He also had wings on his shoulders and a trident in his hand, just like the trident in that strange temple. Ram's blood collected in the Shino bowl. He rubs his hand well and then starts rubbing his hands on the idol. Gradually, the blood starts disappearing from the idol on its own, and on the other hand, the wounds of Ram's body also start to heal gradually. It was nothing short of magical. Hardly anyone would know this method of Shino, but within just 10 to 15 minutes, Ram's body was completely normal. It didn't look like there was even a small cut mark on his body. Shino then extracts some herbs and puts that extract into Ram's mouth. Like a drop of extract, as he falls on Ram's tongue, Ram comes to his senses and finds himself in an awkward place. Ram could see the place well and understand where it was. Before he can do that, Shino closes Ram's eyes with his hands. Ram immediately sits up and tries to remove that hand. But then Shino says, "Calm down. You're under treatment. You don't have to open your eyes. Perhaps you have forgotten that you came to me in a wounded state." Saying this, Shino ties a black cloth over Ram's eye. "I don't know, Shino. What was hypnotism? What was intoxication?" Ram listens to him very calmly. Ram becomes absolutely silent. One of the Shino herbs picks up a bunch of leaves. He touches those leaves all over Ram's body. As the leaves touched Ram's body, Ram was very relaxed. It seemed that new freshness, new energy was entering his body. Slowly, Shino also unzips Ram's blindfold. Shino then grabs Ram's hand and brings him out. To Ram, his Vinay is surprised to see him standing on his feet safely. At the same time, he is also very happy. Ram also gets very emotional seeing Vinay. Ram and Vinay quickly approach Nisha and Seema. Seeing Ram, Seema immediately hugs Ram, but at the same time, Vinay feels a little strange. He wonders what Shino did that treatment, that no medicine or bandage was tied on Ram's body, and it was completely cured. As far as his clothes were stained with blood. At the same time, there is not even a single blood stain on his body and not on his clothes. He gets lost in his own thoughts. Then Nisha says to Vinay, "What happened? What did you think about? Aren't you happy to see Ram doing well?" Vinay says, "No, there is nothing like that. I'm so happy, but don't you think it's magic?" Nisha says, "What do you mean?" Vinay says, "I mean, if we had taken Ram to a doctor, Ram would not have regained consciousness so quickly and would not have been able to walk so quickly. At the same time, medicine and bandage would also be tied on his body. But look at this hour, he is standing in front of him as well as before. It is only then that Nisha notices that Vinay is right. But given the atmosphere at that time, both Nisha and Vinay remain calm. They both thank Donja. I am very thankful to you for saving my friend's life. Now you allow us. We get out of here. Donja says a little surprised, are you guys leaving here? Vinay says yes. What will we do by staying here now? You are for us. They were disturbed at night and brought us here so early in the morning. That's enough. Wait here, and we don't want to be a burden on you. Just then, Kim comes in and says, who said you are a burden on us? Perhaps you do not know that our guests are considered to be God. When any outsider comes to our village, we come to know that our gods are very happy with us, and we have a rule that the guests coming here should be given such hospitality as a god. The way we worship God are, they worship Him. Similarly, the guests who come here are also worshipped, even though you came here in times of difficulty. But if you are our guest, Vinay says, so what do you want from us? Donja says, nothing. Just stay here for a couple of days and give us a chance to serve so that our gods can be pleased with us. Vinay says, look, I can understand your point. There are different rules in every culture everywhere. Everyone has a different culture. Maybe your culture is that too. But you try to understand our problem. We're back home too. We have to return, and at this time, neither we have money nor are mobile. We are not even able to contact at home. We have to leave for our home as soon as possible. Our family members will be calling. They will be upset. That's why we want to reach the city as soon as possible and inform our family members. Donja and Kim's face withers when they hear this. He lowers his neck and calms down. Then Seema says, man Vinay, how do you talk? One, Kim and Donja helped us so much, and we spent 2 days for their happiness. Can't stop here. And anyway, they want to please their deity to welcome us. So what's so bad about it? And it happens in most cultures that the guest is considered to be God. Vinay says, but Seema, you try to understand. So much happened to Ram yesterday, and now we are taking our lives. Seema says, I understand everything. You don't explain it to me. It is because of them that Ram has been able to recover, so we can't deny them. Mr. Kim, don't worry. We will definitely stay here for 2 or 3 days according to your request. Isn't it, Ram? Ram also says, yes, absolutely. Why not? After all, they saved me from dying. He is like God who gave me life, and how can we avoid God? Vinay and Nisha are unable to say anything further and are forced to stay back in the village. Kim and Donja get happy and take them all home. Slowly, the day was completely gone. The people of the village were also engaged in work by coming out of their homes. Kim gave the 4 of them another room. The 4 friends in that room, they were resting. Last night's incident had still not come out of his mind, and he was discussing it when he heard the sound of a snake blowing. At first, that voice was very low, but when they look at that voice, they become completely silent, and then the sound increases so much that all 4 of them get scared. They think that a snake has entered this room. Vinay says this voice is of a snake. Seema says, yes, I feel the same, but where is the snake? Vinay and Ram everywhere in that room. Let's see. They don't see the snake anywhere. There was plenty of stuff in the room. 2 bunks, several bundles, a wardrobe. In such a situation, he could not enter everywhere and see where the snake was. But they do not take the risk and immediately come out of that room and tell Kim about the snake. Kim wonders, what a snake? I see. When Kim goes into the room, she sees a huge black snake behind the bundles. Kim calmly picks up the black snake and comes out of the room. A. Calculate the value of the product. Seeing the snake in Kim's hand, the 4 get nervous. Kim takes the snake and goes straight out. The 4 friends had lost their seatbelt that an old woman had so much courage that she picked up such a big black snake in her hand. As Kim comes back, Nisha asks in surprise, aren't you scared of that snake? Was it a poisonous snake? Kim laughs and says, snakes like him come to my house 2 or 3 every day. On hearing this, all the friends keep looking at Kim with surprise, but no one says anything. Vinay and Nisha were already a little suspicious of Kim's character. Vinay tells his friends, man, we can't stay here in this house. Let's take a walk around the village for a while. They go out after telling Kim that we are just going near here. We'll be back soon. As she leaves, Kim says, "Go nearby. Don't make the mistake of leaving this village. Don't break into someone else's house. If anyone asks who you are, say that you are Elgos's guest." Seema asks, "Who is this Elagos?" "Kim on," she says with a sharp laugh. "He is the god of this village." Vinay and his friends move out of the village. They look at each house very carefully and wish there was a little bit of diversity in one house. But no, everything was perfect. The length, width, coloration of the house were all the same. Ram and Seema were walking ahead, while Vinay and Nisha were a few steps behind Ram and Seema. Ram and Seema were girlfriends, so they were moving forward talking about some of their personal things. Meanwhile, Nisha is at the strange old temple of the night. She tells Vinay about it. Vinay says, "I don't know why Nisha doesn't feel right here. I think it's our mistake to come here. We have to go back home as soon as possible." Nisha says, "I don't feel right here, but what to do?" Seema told Kim that we will stay for a couple of days. Now anyway, you have to spend a couple of days here. As they walk, they reach Shino's house and see that there is a crowd of people outside the house. Ram and Seema stop seeing the crowd, and Vinay and Nisha also hurry up. He reaches Ram and says, "How is there such a crowd here?" Ram says, "Don't know. Let's go and ask." Ram asks a man present there, "How is this crowd?" So the man says that we have come to ask Shino for help. Ram asks, "What kind of help?" The man says, "Whatever help you need. If you are sick, it can free you from the disease. If you want money, it can also give you a lot of wealth. If you have a problem with a person and you want to remove them from your life, then that person should also be removed from you. Can overcome." After hearing this, Vinay and all his friends are blown away. They wonder if this is some witchcraft person who is separating people from life itself. Vinay asks the man, "Why have you come here?" "That man tells me that I have 5 daughters. Now my wife is again from the stomach, but I want my wife to have a son this time. So I have come to meet Shino because I know she is me everything." "You can give it," Ram says in amazement. "What nonsense are you doing? The birth of a boy or a girl is only God. It is in the hands of the people, not in the hands of a human being. Nowadays, there is so much technology in the world, but still no doctor can convert a baby growing in the womb into a boy or a girl. So how can you give birth to a son from your wife's womb? Maybe she has a daughter in her womb this time too." On hearing this, the man gets angry and says, "You guys are doubting the power of Shino-ji. Who the hell are you guys? What are you doing here in our village?" Vinay and all his friends are terrified by the man's voice. Request handling the matter, he says, "Sorry, brother, we have also come to get our treatment done. This is my friend Ram. He's a little out of his mind. You continue. By the way, who is this with you? Is she your daughter?" The man was holding a little girl's hand. When Vinay asks, the man says, "Yes, she is my youngest daughter. Shino had asked me to come up with it." The man's daughter was really sweet and innocent. Vinay and his friends chat and laugh with the girl for a while. That girl also met Vinay and his friends a lot. Sounds good. After that, as the number of people comes, they go to Shino. Vinay comes back to Kim's house with his friends. They spend the whole day at Kim's house. It is night now. Everyone eats and goes to lie down. Seema and Ram were still sitting on the mat in the veranda of the house and talking. Kim also asked them to go inside, but they just sit there saying that they are going inside just a little while. Some important things are talking, but their need. It was so much that it was 1 a.m. and both of them had no news. Ever since she met with Ram, Seema was very upset for Ram and did not want to leave Ram alone at all. Ram and Seema were talking to each other when their eyes fell on the sky, which was turning red at that time. Ram said, "Seema, you don't find this sky strange? How red its color is becoming." Seema says, "You are right. What a strange color it has become. I can see your face red too." Saying this, Seema starts smiling. Then the sound of someone screaming in their ears immediately shocks Seema and Ram. Seema nervously grabs Ram's hand and says, "Ram, what kind of voice was this?" Ram also immediately stands up and looks around. He says someone screamed very badly. Once again, Kim comes out. She sees that Seema and Ram are still sitting outside, and she angrily says, "You guys don't understand what I'm saying. I told you to go and lie down. So what are you doing here so far? There are some rules for living in this village. You can live here according to those rules. When Kim gets angry, Seema and Ram quietly go inside the room. They see that Vinay and Nisha are also awake. Vinay looks at Ram and Seema and says, "You guys haven't slept yet, and where are you coming out from?" Seema says, "We were sitting in the courtyard. We heard someone screaming." "Did you hear someone scream?" Nisha says, "Yes, we also heard the sound of screaming. It was a very painful voice." Vinay says, "Look guys, this is a village. Any incident happens here very easily. Thieves roam around with impunity. Someone may have fallen prey to a crook like us." Nisha says, "If this is the case, then these villagers should help them. Let's go and see whose voice it was." Seema says, "But Kim asked us to come in." Now Vinny's mind starts spinning a bit. He says, "Man, I don't understand the behavior of these people. It helps strangers like us, and now it is the sound of screaming. They are asking me to sit inside. Let me talk to Kim for a minute." Vinay quickly knocks on the door of the adjoining room. But as soon as he goes to knock on the door opens automatically and he sees that there is an idol placed in the front of the room. It was just like the idol it had in Shano's house. But it was the first time Vinay had seen the idol. 3 candles were burning in front of that strange statue. Vinay gets nervous on seeing the idol, as it did not look like the idol of any god. A strange monster. It was a statue. He sees Kim and Donya sitting in front of the statue with folded hands and bowed their heads. It did not take long for Vinay to understand that these people consider that idol as their god. Kim says to Donya, "Give me a plate." I come through the temple. A plate of Donya Puja contained a narmundi, a small earthen pot, some jasmine flowers and 2 yellow laddus. Gives it to Kim. As Kim stands up, Vinay immediately runs to his room. Nisha asks, "What happened? Did you say anything to Kim?" Vinay says no. "Man, I didn't say anything. I don't want to stop here anymore. I believe it's still time. Get out of here now. These people seem strange to me." Seema says, "What do you want to say?" "Say it bluntly. Why do you find these people weird?" "Because they cured Ram perfectly." Vinay says, "Yes, that's why I find these people weird. Think for yourself, if we had taken Ram to the hospital, would he have been able to stand on his feet so soon? There is not a single injury mark on its body, and if you remember, there was no part of its body that do not be soaked with blood. You can understand that this is a witchcraft village." Seema says, "Yes, so what? Even if someone cures it through Tantra mantra, people in the city also adopt such tactics. It's not a big deal." Vinay says it's not a big deal. "Okay, I'll make your point. Through witchcraft, we can benefit ourselves through Tantra mantra. There is nothing wrong with it. But have you ever seen anyone who looks like a demon believe in God?" Ram wonders. "What do you mean, Vinay?" In a low and muffled voice, he says, "I was just knocking on Kim's room to make her aware of the scream, but accidentally the door opened and I saw a lot of strange things inside. I saw a strange monster statue there. Kim and her son were worshiping her. I found her not to be a god. The whole room was strangely decorated. White flowers were lying everywhere, and the strong smell was spread everywhere. Not only this, Kim was talking about going to a temple. In his hand was a plate of worship in which there was a narmundi. You tell me, which puja is performed from narmundi?" Seema says tantric people worship only from narmundi. They even have a garland of narmundi around their neck. Seema was not taking Vinay's words seriously. According to him, if someone worships a strange-looking idol from narmundi, then there is no big deal in it. India is a land of diversity. In such a situation, everyone has many gods and goddesses. Some folk are gods. Somewhere there are family deities. That's why Seema says that maybe the idol you saw is the clan of this village. You are deities. Vinay says, "I don't understand what bandage is tied on your eyes. You don't feel anything strange. Nisha told me that yesterday you went to the temple strangely. I believe that the idol may be of their family deity. But Nisha also told me that yesterday an idol was covered with a black cloth. So why have these people covered their idols with clothes?" Seema says, "Vinay, you are upset and nothing else. You are taking these things too seriously, and maybe it is because you are an educated person. Look at, I am also educated. But we cannot deny that there are many cultures in India, and this can also be a part of culture. They haven't harmed us, so we can't blame them." Then Nisha says, "Man, you guys stop arguing and now tell me what to do next." Vinay says, "I will follow Kim. I will see how she performs the puja." Saying this, Vinay walks out of the room with muffled steps. Ram also tries to stop her, but Vinay shook his hand and walked out silently. It goes. Nisha also goes after him. Vinay and Nisha follow Kim to the strange temple. They see Kim kiss the entrance to the temple and go inside with a platter. Vinay and Nisha first try to peek into the hole from the outside. He sees that the statue in front of the blossom was quite huge. She removes her black cloth, and this time Nisha is also able to see the idol. As soon as the curtain is removed from that idol, the trident kept nearby starts shining. The lights twinkle all around him. Kim. She bows in front of that idol and then goes to a corridor built next to it. Vinay and Nisha go after Kim without making a sound. They can't get into that room. Although there was no door in that room, still they do not go inside for fear of blossoms. But they see a small window in the side of the room, through which both of them can see a lot inside. That there was a strange symbol on the wall of the room, which had the shape of the face of a monster with big teeth. There was anger in the eyes, and that figure was captured in a 5-star. He was imprisoned in a 5-star circle. It was clear that this is the place of Tantra Mantra because no sattvic person or god is like this. Vinay and Nisha had never seen any such temple till date. In addition to that strange symbol, there were some pictures on the wall, of which there was also a painting on the wall of Kim's house. Vinay and Nisha were looking at the room when they heard the voice of Kim and another person. Who was that second person? Vinay and Nisha can't see, but he says, "I want that girl." Kim says, "Yes, I will try my best to convey it to you." That voice comes again. "I want that girl first before this new moon as soon as possible. I want to make her my girlfriend. She has run away from me." Kim says, "You give me a day or two. I will hand over the border to you. I can understand that you must be lost in her beauty, and she will soon be yours." On hearing this, Vinay and Nisha are blown away. For a moment, they don't understand what border Kim is talking about and who the other person is asking for it. Nisha and Vinay look at each other in amazement. Sweat starts flowing on the face of both of them, and the feet start shaking. They came here bravely, but it seems heavy to return. Then they both see that Kim is that weird. She is worshiping the symbol. Then for the first time, Nisha thinks that Kim was not talking to some demonic power, and this voice is of that demonic power. Nisha and Vinay see that Blossom's puja is almost over. She is wrapping up her puja plate. As Kim turns around, Vinay and Nisha are terrified to see her as Blossom's face and hands are drenched in blood. Nisha says, "Vinay, get out of here quickly." Kim is coming out. Vinay and Nisha hurried out of the temple with desperate steps. They hide behind a tree. They wait for Kim to leave. When Kim leaves, Vinay and Nisha breathe freely. Both were very upset. Vinay says, "Look, I was saying that staying here is not free from danger. I had already sensed something untoward, and now what was it talking about the border?" Nisha, "Before anything happens to us again, we have to get out of here as soon as possible." Nisha says, "Yes, you are right. Let's quickly go back to Kim's house and call Ram and Seema." Explains everything. They both secretly go to Kim's room and see that Ram and Seema are not there. They are both shocked. Nisha says, "Where did these two go now?" Vinay says, "Yes, man. Is there any time to go somewhere?" Even last night, they were sitting outside and talking till 1 a.m. Nisha says that she has not gone out for a walk in the nearby village. Vinay says that at night, Nisha says, "Hey, is it not that those people have come after us and lost their way?" Vinay says, "Yes, it can happen. Away, be gone. We should find theirs." Vinay and Nisha don't see what time of the night it is. Is the night dark or light? They wander from pillar to post in the village to find their friend. The surprise is when they do not see Ram and Seema anywhere. Vinay and Nisha's worries were now increasing. They also find Ram and Seema on the way to the temple, but there was no trace of those people. They were on their way back to Kim's house when they suddenly found Donya on the way. He says, "What are you guys doing here?" And that too at night. Vinay was already angry. He angrily grabs Donya by the throat and says, "Where are our friends? Tell me quickly." Donya relieves himself and says, "What do I know? Where are your friends? Release my throat." Vinay says, "I will kill you guys. I know you're not good people. Tell me quickly, where are Seema and Ram? What did you do to them? We couldn't find them anywhere in the village. Tell me, where is he?" Donya pushes Vinay hard and Vinay falls to the ground. Donya says angrily, Where? We don't know where your friends are. You guys roam everywhere night and night, and that Ram and his girlfriend will be sitting somewhere and hitting their faces. What do we know? Vinay once again stands up and says, "This is your courage." This time the serpent shows Vinay's hand from a distance and says, "Stop there. Don't try to confront me. The question I should ask is, why are you walking around so late at night?" Vinay then angrily tells him about going to the temple. He tells that Kim was talking to someone about a border deal, Vinay and Donya. The argument breaks out and escalates so much that a scuffle ensues between the two. In the midst of this scuffle, Vinay hits a stone in his hand and he angrily hits the stone on Donya's head. The stone on Donya's head hits such a place that Donya immediately starts bleeding and falls down. As soon as he watches, he sits his senses. Vinay and Nisha also get nervous. They don't know what to do now. Nisha says, "Oh my God, Vinay, what did you do?" Vinay says, "What else would he do?" "You didn't see it, dear me. He was going to kill me. And anyway, these people are doing something wrong with Ram and Seema too. And now Danza has come to know that we know the truth about them." Nisha does one thing. Let's take Donya out of the village. First, we need to find our friends. If Donya told Kim all this before meeting our friends, then our lives could also be in danger. Nisha and Vinay drag Donya unconscious to the forest and tie him to a tree. He also puts a cloth in her mouth and shuts her mouth so that he can't scream. It was all quite easy for them, as Nagesh was unconscious. Vinay says, "Let's go to Nisha. Now we should go back to village. We have to find our friends anyway, and remember that Kim should not know that we have known her truth, because now she will be able to tell us the address of Seema and Ram." Ram and Seema, on the other hand, were at Shino's house that night, unaware that Vinay and Nisha were looking for them. Shino was talking to Ram and Seema very nicely. Perhaps there was some hypnotism in his words, omnipresent God. And when Seema was talking to him, he was getting a lot of satisfaction. Actually, Shino had called Ram and Seema there at the hands of one of her servants. He had told his servant that they had to check up Ram once. That's why Ram and Seema were at Shino's house. While they are talking, Kim comes there and says, "Ram and Seema, your two friends have left this village." Both of them are surprised when they hear this. Ram says, "What are you saying? How can they leave us?" Kim says, "I am telling the truth. You know that. They didn't want to stop here from the beginning, and now they found an excuse. I know they saw me praying. Our village is a very archaeological village, and our deities are Elegos. Perhaps Vinay decided to leave after seeing our deity. Believe it or not, they may be demons to you because that's how they look, but he is no less than a god. He is our god. Because of them, this village is inhabited. It's because of them that you're okay. You have found it. Have you ever wondered how you got better so quickly? Perhaps you do not know that your wounds were very deep. There is none other than our god, Elegos, who can heal your wounds completely. You must thank them, and you must stop here to thank them. This shows the humanity of a human being." "Why the border?" "I'm right." Seema stammers and says, Yes, Kim is right. That's why I agreed to stay here. But I can't believe that our friends left us alone." Kim says, "Believe it or not, son, this is the truth. They've both left you. He told me that I should tell you that you should come back yourself." Then cutting the talk, Ram says, "Come on, Shenoji, it's late at night. Now we also have to go to Kimji's house. A day or so, we will leave for our home." Then Kim says, "No, Ram, you can't go to my house." There was a slight worry on Kim's face. The next moment, she handles the matter and says, "Actually, Shenoji had promised me that for 2 days I will welcome you." And for 2 days, she herself smiles on hearing this and says, "Really? Shinoji is like the god here. They will welcome us." Then Shino says, "Yes, why not? Both of you will stay at my house for 2 days. But there is a rule of staying at my house that you cannot go out of this house." Ram feels a little strange when he hears this. He asks, "But why? How can we stay indoors for 2 days? I mean, we'll be bored." Shino says nothing like this will happen. "You trust me." On Shino trusting him, Ram and Seema decide to stay at Shino's house. But they did not know how big trouble their decision could cause for them. Somehow it is morning. In the morning, Vinay asks Kim, "Kim, where are my 2 friends?" "Why don't you know where your friends are?" she asks. "They were with you." "Yes, but Nisha and I went out of the house for a while last night." It was suffocating here. But when we came back, we had to ram and Seema did not appear. Kim says, well, was it suffocating here or were they chasing me? Vinay and Nisha are shocked when they hear this. Both of them smell the snake. Kim says, when you know what I want, then quietly bow your head to our God, because you can't leave this village without our consent anyway. Hearing Kim's words, Vinay's blood starts heating up rapidly. He can't control his anger and says, when you have also come to know that I know about your intentions, so I ask you first and last, can you tell me where my friends are? Look, once I leave this village and inform the police about your exploits, you will go inside the jail with this whole village. Kim laughs when she hears this. There was no fear in his laughter. It seemed like he was unfazed. Nisha says, what did Vinay ask? Do you tell me or not? Kim says, what do you ask me? He is in his right place, and now soon you guys will also have you're going to go to the right place. Saying this, Kim's laughter suddenly turns into anger, and she takes a hammer lying nearby and hits Vinay and Nisha on the head. They both can't even handle themselves and faint. Ram and Seema live in Shino's house. They have a lot of devotion. As evening falls, one of Shino's servants comes to Shamla, Ram, and Seema and tells them that it is about to fall. Now you guys go inside. Seema and Ram follow him silently. Shamla shows Seema a room and points out that she is in the room. Go in. Ram was also going behind the border, but then the servant stops Ram and says you can't go inside with them. Ram makes a strange face on this matter. Why? Why can't I go with them? These are my colleagues. Shino's servant says Shamla, but I have got the order that both of you should be kept in separate rooms. Ram mutters a little mole and says, hey, your mind is fine. Why would we be in separate rooms? This village is unknown to us. We can't leave each other. Anyway, 2 of our friends have already left here. Yes, sir. Shamala says I don't know all this, but I can't defy my boss's order, so you have to go to another room. Seema was also a little nervous on this matter. She says, Ram, you talk to Shino. Maybe it's a village, so we're being asked to keep it separate. In the village, boys and girls of our age do not live together like this. Ram says, hey Seema, we were all together in Kim's house too. Seema says there were 4 of us there, but now you and I are alone. There is a question of their honor. Maybe that's why. But I can't live alone. You talked to Shino once. Ram nods yes and says to Shamla, I have to go to Shino Ji. Shamla takes Ram to Shino. At that time, Shino was resting. Ram puts his point in front of Shino. On the other hand, Seema had gone into the room. He closed the door of the room slightly. She was admiring the room well. There was a mattress bed on the floor. There were 2 jugs and a glass nearby. There were also paintings of some animals hanging in the room, behind a rat on a wall. The cat was running away, and there was a dog behind the cat. Seema starts laughing when she sees that painting. As soon as her laughter stops, she hears a laugh from the room, and it was hers. Seema wonders who is here. She quickly turns her head around her, but there was no one in the room but him. There was no other door in the room. Seema quickly opens the door and looks out. There was no one outside. Seema closes the door completely and comes into the room. As she looks at the painting again, the mouse cat. The mouse was missing in the painting. Seema nervously puts her hand over her mouth. His eyes widen. The next moment, as soon as Seema's eyes fall on the bed, exactly the same mouse as it was in that painting. Seema starts jumping on the bed. Seeing this, Seema screams. She immediately leaves the room. Her scream had even reached Ram's ears. Shino and Ram immediately come near the border. Seema was standing outside the door of the room, screaming and jumping. Save the rat, the rat. Ram handles the border. What's the border? Why screaming? Are you staying? Seema says nervously. There's a mouse inside the room. Ram says, Seema, are you also scared of a rat? Wait, I'll run away. Shino also goes inside with Ram. Seema was about to tell that she had seen the rat in the painting, and that is why she was surprised once again when she saw the painting, because the cat was also missing in that painting. She stared at the painting for a while. Ram asks what happened. What are you looking at? Seema says Ram was a mouse and cat in it. He's no longer in this painting. Ram says, what's in this painting? Seema says, yes, I saw that rat jumping here, and now there is no cat. Seema only says that then she sees the cat outside the window of the room, exactly as it was in the painting. Seema shouts loudly, Ram, look at that cat. This is the same cat that was in the painting. Ram says what happened to Seema. Your mind is fine. What are you talking about? There was a cat in the painting. There was a mouse. Shino says, yes, what are you saying, Seema? Tell me correctly. Then Seema explains the whole thing in a way. Ram says, how can this happen? Seema, it will be your fault. Shino says, you relax. And Ram told me that he wanted to stay with you. Both of you stay in this room. Now I'm going. Come back to eat after a while. Shino leaves from there, but Seema was still nervous. Ram hugs Seema. Seema also closes her eyes and holds Ram tightly. But as soon as she opens her eyes, she nervously moves away from Ram. Because Rama's body was transformed into red skin, she was completely naked. But as soon as the border moves away, Ram returns to normal. Seeing Seema moving away from himself in this way, Ram asks, what happened, Seema? Seema nervously says, nothing but mindfulness. After some time, Shino's servants call Ram and Seema out for dinner. Then her own laughter starts echoing in Seema's ears. Everywhere she looked, there was a sound of laughter. Seema finds it quite strange. She asks Ram, Ram, do you hear someone laughing? Ram says no, so no one, not laughing. Seema gets upset and says Ram don't know what happened to me. I can hear someone laughing. Ram asks who's laughing. Seema says my only laugh. Ram smiles and says, Seema, you have lost your mind, eating food and sleeping. On the other hand, when Vinay and Nisha regain consciousness, they find themselves tied to a chair in an awkward place. When they look at the things around them well, they understand where they are. These people were present in the room inside the same corridor where Kim Satan was present. She was worshiping. First of all, Nisha regains consciousness. As soon as Nisha regains consciousness, she wakes up Vinay with a voice. Vinay also gets nervous. The blood flowing from both the heads had frozen, and both of them had a headache. Nisha says, Vinay, what should we do now? We have been tied up here. How do we find the border now? Vinay says, don't worry, Nisha. We will definitely find some solution. This is the same place where we saw Kim worshiping. Nisha says, yes, don't know why, Vinay. I feel weird around here, like there's someone around us. Vinay says, yes, you are absolutely right. I also feel some warmth around me as if someone is breathing. Someone is breathing heavily near my ears. They were very nervous. As Vinay and Nisha were trying to understand the situation, they heard a voice in their ears. He understands that someone is coming towards this room. They see that Kim and some other people are also with her, including Shino. Vinay and Nisha are shocked to see Shino, as well as the village there. There was also a man who wanted a son who had 5 daughters, and with him was his youngest daughter, who had gone to Shino's house. Vinay and Nisha could understand something. Before she does, Kim hurriedly places a large wooden card in front of the sign on the wall. The sacrifice is performed on that wooden plank. But Vinay and Nisha were not aware of this. And the next moment, as soon as the little girl sees that wooden plank, starts screaming, crying, and repeatedly, no, Baba, no, you don't do this. But the girl's father, he puts his daughter's neck on a wooden plank. After that, Kim takes a big gandasa. She kisses the chopper and then puts it on the wall and puts it in Shino's hands. Shino strokes the girl's head and says, son, it's just a matter of time. You will be the reason for your family's happiness. And as soon as he says this, Shino runs a big dirty on the neck of that girl, and the next moment the blood splashes all around like a fountain. When Vinay and Nisha see all this, their soul trembles. His heart stops. Like this, it seems as if time has stopped. They can't believe that someone has been sacrificed in front of them, and that too an innocent child. As soon as Nisha realizes her senses, she screams. Just then, Kim puts a finger on her lips and asks Nisha to shut up. She says, hey girl, why are you troubling our God? It is time for their sacrifice. Don't spoil our spiritual practice by screaming. Nisha cries and says, but why did you kill that child? What wrong did he do to you? Kim says, we haven't killed him. We brought him to our God, Given. She is now safe at his feet, and perhaps you do not know that the girl was chosen to carry on with his family. It is the good fortune of the child that we dedicated her to our deity Eligos. Vinay says angrily, oh crazy old woman, she was an innocent child. You have hurt him, caused him pain. What are you doing in the name of superstition? Once I get out of here, I will put the entire village inside the jail." On hearing this, Shino gets angry on his face and he slaps Vinay on the cheeks. He says, "It seems you also have to reach your God. Your tongue moves more." Kim says, "Just do it, Shino. Just do it. These people will also reach our deity soon. Have some patience." The body of that child is lying there. Kim lifts the baby's head and places it on a platter and then worships the symbol on the wall like an arti. Then they leave. Nisha and Vinay's eyes were repeatedly falling on the torso of the child, which was making them feel terrifying. Nisha was crying, and Vinay could not understand how he got out of here. Then Nisha's eyes fall on the dead body of the girl. She sees that the child's finger is moving on its own, and the child stands up on its own. Nisha screams when she sees a dead man standing there. When Vinay's eyes go to that girl, he also gets nervous. His eyes also begin to widen. The child slowly moves closer to them, but before reaching them, she once again falls on the ground, and this time the girl's hand falls on Nisha's feet. Nisha immediately tries to extend her leg, but the chariot falls behind. At the moment, the child's torso was now inactive. Vinay stares at the child's body for some time. He counsels Nisha when she doesn't wake up again. "Nisha, calm down. She won't do anything now." Vinay's eyes fall on the same Ganda with which the girl was sacrificed. He slid his chair to reach the Gandasa, and with the help of the chair brings the Gandasa to Nisha. Then he himself drops his chair and unties a rope in Nisha's hand. The next moment, Nisha quickly grabbed her other hand. She unties the rope and then unties both the ropes of Vinay. Then they breathe a sigh of relief. Nisha says, "Let's get out of here quickly." Nisha and Vinay were about to leave the place when the room starts shaking as if an earthquake has happened. The chairs automatically start dancing round and round. Not only that, the child who was shining on the ground. She stands upright with a jerk, and blood oozes from her neck like a loud fountain to the ceiling of the room. Seeing that scene, Vinay and Nisha's feet freeze there. From the front wall on which the satanic symbol was made, a red shadow came out of it. Slowly, the shadow takes over Nisha's body, and then the child flies in the air with speed and sticks to Nisha's neck and still continues to bleed from her neck. In a short time, Nisha also becomes blood-soaked. Vinay tries hard to remove the child, but the child was clinging to Nisha like a joke, and then she pushes Nisha down against a wall. Nisha suffers a head injury. Vinay handles him, and then the child starts dancing round and round like chairs and moves towards Nisha once again. But then Vinay wanted to hold Nisha's hand and escape from a corner of the room and go outside. But suddenly Vinay's hand hits a nail on the wall, and the symbolic wall splits into two parts. Vinay and Nisha are shocked to see this, but he sees that there is an alley ahead. They immediately run into that street. There were red lights all over the place. What was that light for? I didn't understand anything. Neither the bulbs nor the torches were visible. There was just a light to go. They go straight away. Then a round room appears. The room was covered with a red curtain. When Vinay and Nisha go to the other side of the curtain, they see that it is a stone wall which is made of round, and many idols of their deity are embossed on it. There is also a circle on the ground, which is made of black color. There is a table in the middle of it, and there is a book on that table. A candle is burning just above the book. When Vinay and Nisha look at the candle carefully, they find that even though the candle is burning, the wax is not melting. That is, it is also a magic candle. There is also a strange smell coming from the book under the candle. Vinay says, "How is this book?" Nisha says, "Let's open and see. It may have written something about the tantric practices here." Vinay carefully places the candle on the table and opens the book and looks at it. Everything in the book was written in the English language. There was a lot written about the god Eligos in that book. Some of the excerpts were as follows. Eligos is the god of hell. Eligos is considered to be the master of knowledge of hidden things. It is also called the monster of the mind. If one can prove this demon, then one can fulfill his desires. All he has to do is make a sacrifice in exchange for his will. He can sacrifice any loved one or any blood relative. It was also written in that book that the power of Eligos is in his trident. If his trident is broken in any way, his powers will be destroyed. But that doesn't mean you can use Eligos can destroy. Where Eligos resides, the trident will definitely be found. From there, the only way to destroy his powers is the elimination of the trident. He sacrifices people. He keeps their souls imprisoned. Not only does he keep people's souls imprisoned, but he is a great lover of souls, especially the souls of girls, whether they are children, young or old. He tortures them in his world, which gives him happiness, and that is why he was addressed as the god of hell. Worshipping Elagos, he also wipes out his soul. He loses all ways to get to heaven. He gets everything in this world, but he has nothing left for the world. While Vinay was reading all this, Nisha's eyes fell on the candle on the table, which had now melted and become very small. Nisha immediately says to Vinay, "Look at this. This candle melted, and when it was placed on this book, there was not a little wax." Vinay says maybe because of the power of the book. Vinay quickly closes the book and places the candle on top of it. And once again, that candle starts burning in a simple way without melting the wax. They knew that if this candle was extinguished, it would be dark in this place. Vinay and Nisha were thinking about what they should do next when the shape of the Elagos on that wall comes very close to Vinay, pulling like a rubber and a strong steam comes out of it. Then the voice of the same child comes to their ears. "No, Baba, don't do that." On hearing this voice, Vinay and Nisha get scared and quickly run away from there. But he sees that the street from which they went towards that round room. In the same street, the child is standing waiting for them. When they look at the child's legs were amputated. On seeing this, both of the girls' hands are cut off and fall down. It was a very scary scene. Vinay grabs Nisha's hand and quickly pushes the girl out of the lane. Going out, he first touches the nail with which the wall was divided into two parts, and the wall closes as soon as the nail is pressed again. Then Vinay and Nisha heave a sigh of relief. Request Nisha says, "Look, I don't know what they will do with Seema, but I do know that the way they killed this innocent child, they will not even leave the border. We don't even know when and how we will be able to find the border, but we will continue to eliminate tantric powers. We have come to know that by destroying that trident, we can stop the activities that are happening here." Nisha says, "But how will we break the Trishul?" Vinay says that we will know only after seeing the trident. Let's quickly get to the trident. Let's go pick up. They come out of the room where the statue of Elagos stood in the big hole with his trident and a black cloth covered over it. The trident of Elagos was buried in the ground, which was very difficult to remove. It was rock and touch, but the very hard rock didn't look like it was going to break so easily. Vinay and Nisha were trying in every way to break that trident, and on one side Ram and Seema had gone to sleep. He looked like he was very tired. Just then, the door of his room opens and a man comes up to him. He was Shino's servant Shamla. Hearing the sound of the door, Seema and Ram's eyes open, but it seems as if he is drunk. Shamla grabs one of Seema's hands and picks her up. The border was completely silent. That's why she gets up easily. Ram was also watching all this. His mind was also moving very slowly. He understood everything but couldn't do anything. That's when she sees Kim, who jerks off the border. Then Shamla and Kim grab Seema and take her out. Courage for a while, Ram also gets up. He was trying to activate himself, but it seemed as if there was an intoxication of something. In fact, a herb was added to Ram and Seema's food at night that made them intoxicated. All his muscles were relaxed, and he was not able to move his arms and legs properly. Vinay and Nisha were constantly trying to break the trident with a stone, but there wasn't a crack in it. Then they hear a slogan. "Our God Elagos, our God Elagos." This voice belongs to none other than Kim and others. It was the people. One of them was the voice of Nagas. Vinay and Nisha get nervous after hearing Naga's voice, but their nervousness doesn't last long, because now even Kim had come to know about his truth. But he wonders how Kim would have found Donja. At the moment, Vinay and Nisha quickly hide somewhere after hearing the voice of those people and secretly see these people. They see Kim and another man from Shamla holding the border and bringing it inside the temple. To the border, Nisha gets nervous seeing her in an unconscious state. She was about to say something when Vinay gestured to her to keep quiet. They calmly watch what they will do now, but soon they understand that they are taking Seema to the same room where the child was sacrificed. Once again, Vinay and Nisha follow Blossom into the corridor where the devil's worship room was set up. And once again, they try to peek inside through that small slit. He sees that Seema is swinging drunk. They are a chair to the border. Let's sit on it. But then Kim's attention turns to two empty chairs and broken ropes. Seeing this, she gets nervous and says to Shino, "Where did those two go? That's what I tied them to." Shino says, "How can this happen, and where did that child's torso go?" Kim says, "Oh, Alagos, gods, I don't know where they went." It is not that they went somewhere with the child's torso. Then Shino's eyes fall on the border. He says, "Leave them both for now. He won't be able to move out of this village anyway. We need to sacrifice the border first. You have to give." Shino tells Kim, "This will be the best sacrifice we have ever made. After this, the god Alagos will give us lots of blessings." Kim also cheers and says, "Of course, Shino, this will be our best sacrifice. But before that, we have to sensitize it so that it knows to whom it is being dedicated." Donya extracts a juice from a glass bottle kept nearby and gives it to Seema. As soon as Seema drinks that juice, she slowly starts coming to her senses, and life also comes back to the body. He saw himself in a strange place. She gets nervous. As her eyes fall on Kim and Nagas, she says, "Kim, where are you? Where am I, and where is Ram?" Seema's eyes also fall on the blood lying on the ground. Then a wave of fear runs through Seema's mind. Seema stands right up from the chair, but then Kim pushes Seema hard and sits back in the chair. Seema nervously says, Kim, what are you doing? Let me go from here. Where did you bring me?" Kim says, "Sit quietly." There was anger in Kim's voice, which made Seema tremble. Tears come to her eyes. She says, "Where is Ram? Take me to Ram." Kim laughs and says, "He's sleeping comfortably. Now your lover is not Rama, but Elagos, so sit quietly and do as you say." Kim says to her son Donya, "Give me flowers of the peacock." Keep Donza nearby, gives flowers of peacocks. Kim blows some mantras on the flowers and then puts the mogra flowers on Seema's head. She then bathes Seema with milk. Seema protests by screaming, but Kim has no effect, and the other way around. Donya held Seema's shoulders firmly. Kim and Shino bow in front of the symbol on the wall. After that, they all sing together in some other language. It was as if he was invoking that monster. Then on seeing this, Seema starts rolling her eyes round and round. She starts laughing loudly and makes a strange sound. She stands up from the chair with a jerk and pushes Donya. Then she starts dancing like crazy. Sometimes she licked the blood of the child lying on the ground. Sometimes she would bite her own hands and feet, it seems. Kim and Shino still continue the song. Then on seeing this, the border rises a few feet above the ground and starts spinning round and round. Vinay and Nisha can't believe their eyes after seeing this horrific scene. Nisha says, "Oh God, what happened to our friend?" Vinay, "Do something quickly." Vinay says, "We have to break that trident as soon as possible, before these people sacrifice the border." Vinay and Nisha go outside the temple and find a big sturdy stone. Seema, who was dancing strangely at her time, gradually his face turned red. It seems, and the teeth turn black. The eyes sink inward. Nails grow more than usual. It seemed as if some demonic force had entered Seema's body, and so was the Elagos monster inside her. Kim and Shino gesture to Seema to go to the secret room inside that room. Donza puts his hand on the nail, and the wall splits in two. Seema silently moves inside the round chamber. The devil inside the boundary is happy to see his bulging figures all around. Then his gaze, the candle placed on top of the book, goes. She places her palm on the candle flame and lets it burn for a while. He was having a lot of fun doing this. Suddenly, strange, colorful rays come out of that room and fall on Seema's body, and Seema finds it low, as if she is feeling electrocuted. After a while, the border becomes completely calm. The demonic spirit had gone out of his body. After calming down, Seema falls to the ground. Then Kim and Shino arrive. Dragging Seema back to the sacrificial chamber where the wooden plank was placed was. On the other hand, Vinay and Nisha had found a sharp and huge stone. They quickly go to the temple and try to break the trident. This time when Vinay attacks the trident, he attacks with full force. At the same time, he also remembers God. He picks up the stone and shouts loudly, "Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram." And saying this, he hits that sharp and huge stone on the sharp part of the trident. As soon as the name of God is mentioned, that stone immediately cracks. The sound of modesty and stone had also reached Kim's hair room. Those voices. They are terrified to hear this. When they leave the border and come out quickly, they see that Vinay has a stone in his hand and is attacking the trident. Kim and Shino scream loudly, "No, no, you can't do that!" Kim runs to Vinay and pushes him away, but Vinay recovers and strikes the trident again, and this time a piece of the trident breaks. As soon as the piece of the trident breaks and falls on the ground, the temple also starts shaking. There is a sound of screaming from the temple, and it seemed that a lot of people were shouting simultaneously. Gradually, that temple of stones starts falling apart. Kim and Shino quickly run outside. Donya also runs after them. Here Vinay tells Nisha, "You also get out of here. I will bring Seema." As Vinay approaches Seema, he sees Seema screaming violently on the ground. A black substance is also dripping from his mouth. Vinay tries to lift the boundary, but Seema's body was quite heavy. Still, Vinay tries his best to drag Seema out of the temple, and then sees the temple completely collapses. Kim and Shano were crying bitterly. There was sadness on Donya's face as well. Everyone remains silent for a while and keeps looking at that broken temple. Then suddenly, Kim, Shino, and Donya start laughing. Their laughter starts to intensify as they laugh. Then the three of them look at each other angrily and start hitting each other. Vinay tries to rescue them, but to no avail. The three of them keep quarreling with each other. In the hand of the Nagas was the same Gandasa with which the sacrifice is performed. I don't know what will happen to those people. It was gone. They became enemies of each other's lives. Perhaps the demonic force was having a negative effect on his body. In the end, Nagas kills his own mother. When Shano sees this, Shano snatches the ganja from Donya's hand and kills Donya. On the other hand, Sumita Nisha had already run away from there after seeing this, and Seema was slowly leaving her body. It was as if his soul was coming out of his body. In fact, it was not his spirit, but the spirit of Satan that was coming out. Vinay was running towards the village with Nisha and Seema, but as soon as they reach the village, they see that all the people of the village have come out and are behaving in the same way as Kim, Shino, and Naga were doing. Everyone is fighting with each other. Someone is killing someone else. Vinay gets nervous after seeing this scene. That's when Seema also starts coming to her senses. She also gets nervous seeing that scene, but Seema finds solace in having her friends with her. She hugs Nisha and starts crying. Nisha is also happy to see that Seema has recovered. Nisha says to Vinay, "Ours here, it's not right to stop. They won't kill us too." Vinay says, "But we have to find Ram. Where is he?" Then Seema says that it is Shino's house. Vinay asks Nisha and Seema to go out of the village and reaches out to Ram himself. He sees Ram sitting in Shino's veranda in an inebriated state, and the servants of Shino's house are fighting with each other in front of him. Vinay avoids them as he somehow brings Ram out and takes him out of the village to avoid everyone's eyes. The whole night passes and the day comes out. They were still wandering in the forest. Then they hear the sound of the truck's horn. They understand that we are very close to the main road, and then they get a new morale, and very soon they reach the main road. After waiting for a long time, a truck passes in front of them, and with the help of that truck, they reach the city. Friends, knowingly or unknowingly, we ask for help from people who become a lesson in our problems, and then we do not know which demonic force we are going after. Not only I don't know how many people, how many tribes, how many societies are there in India, but all over the world that worship devils. We consider him our God and do everything for him that is against humanity, but they don't know that they are doing their own harm. That is why we should never leave God's side. By taking the name of God, the sufferings of human beings are removed. Just like in this story, when Vinay took the name of God, all his troubles went away. So friends, this was our story today. Do tell us how you liked the story by commenting. And those who have not yet subscribed to the channel must subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourself and your family. I, your friend, will meet you soon with a new story. Thank you.